Hello everyone, my name is David Pace, and in this film I will be discussing the evolution of slapstick comedy. So what is slapstick comedy? First and foremost, slapstick comedy is a type of physical comedy that is often characterized by broad humor, absurd situations, and violent actions. Now, the kind of violent actions that I'm speaking of, you will not find in a normal action film. This kind of violence was made to believe. A good example of this would be the Three Stooges. Moe, Curly, and Shrimp Howard, along with Larry Finn, were best known for their eye pokes, ear pulls, and headbangs. Slapstick comedy began during the silent era. One of the first slapstick comedy films was the 1914 Charlie Chaplin film. What made the film unique was that it was the first time where we saw the classic slipping on a banana peel. In the 1930s, slapstick comedies would join the age of sound. During this time, we were introduced to films such as the 1935 Lightning Strikes Twice, the 1944 Crazy Night, the 1953 film The Court Jester, and the 1959 film The Battle of the Sexes. Because of the use of sound, filmmakers were able to heavily use puns and comical phrases. The 1960s and 70s were surreal for comedy films. The films began to take a darker turn, and surreal comedy were often shown in the films. These films did not take place in any certain order. Films in this era would include Advance to the Rear, Who Wants to Kill Jesse, Sleeper, and Slapshot. The 1980s would begin the temporary period and would last through the 1990s. Most films during this era now had a thicker underlying plot and would often display different types of comedy within that plot. Films during this era include Airplane, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and the classics, the 1990 Home Alone, the 1992 Home Alone 2 Lost in New York, and the 1997 Home Alone 3. Now we turn our attention to the present day in slapstick comedy. There are now many different types of comedy within the entire film. This is because plot lines are often recycled, and filmmakers need a way to keep the many different audiences entertained. The many different types of films that you can find within this new era include Meet the Parents, Super Movie Hero, Night in the Museum, Battle of the Smithsonian, and my personal favorites, Grown Ups and Grown Ups 2. I want to thank you for joining me on this journey as I took you through the history of slapstick comedy.
I got a taste of the real world. I got battered on the North Shore. It gave me comfort when I always knew that. I always knew that you were there for me next door. I lived it hard on the long road. I ran through every single zip code. I get lonely, but I always knew that. I always knew that your heart I could call home, and nothing could ever stand in our way.